All right, so you know what we've got going here on Mark Rogers TV. We are ranking every schedule in America, Power 5 plus Notre Dame and BYU. We've made our way through the ACC and the SEC. Now we're getting to the Big Ten. So before we throw them all together and rank them 1 through 66, we're ranking them by conference. So Iowa 14, Purdue 13, Northwestern at number 12, despite some decent non-conference opponents. And we've got the Western Division champion Wisconsin Badgers at number 11. So right out of the gate, non-conference foe. One of the toughest you can imagine, one of the toughest in America, Alabama. So the Badgers get kudos for scheduling tough, meaning they went to Houston last year to Reliant Stadium and took on LSU. They've got Alabama this year. They've got a return trip from LSU next season in 2016 in Milwaukee. So Wisconsin takes on Alabama. The rest of the non-conference season is a gimme. It's a layup, or it should be, against Miami of Ohio, Troy, and Hawaii for the Wisconsin Badgers. But despite the three softies, we give them a lot of credit for taking on Alabama. Okay, so if you've seen my other posts, you know how the formula works. We look at the division. So the SEC West better than the East, the Atlantic and the ACC better than the Coastal, the Big Ten East better than the West. Is it significant? I don't believe so. It's substantial, though. It is decided. It's not an argument. Ohio State, Michigan, the two best teams, they're in the East. Penn State and Michigan, if they continue to progress or progress as expected under Jim Harbaugh in Ann Arbor, then the gap will widen. But for right now, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota make the Big Ten West formidable. That said, the Eastern Division is going to be given some preference over the West. So the next element is looking at the cross-division games. So for Wisconsin, in taking on only 2 of the 7 in the Big Ten East, there's no Ohio State, no Michigan State, no Michigan, no Penn State. It's Rutgers and Maryland, who I would consider to be right now the 5th and 6th best teams in the Big Ten East. Now, considering what Michigan failed to do last year, they would have to be ranked higher based on 8 and 7 win seasons. So they're decent teams, roughly top 50 teams in Rutgers and Maryland that Wisconsin has to face in the Big Ten Eastern Division. But there's no Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State. All right, again, the toughies for Wisconsin in division, Nebraska, Minnesota would be the 2 significant games. The 3 softies out of conference. Alabama is the big game out of conference, of course. So it's the 11th most difficult schedule in the Big Ten. I invite you to go on YouTube, watch the videos. Maybe this is where you're watching it right now, and compare and contrast the schedules. So if I've got one at number 9 and you think the number 10's tougher, then you let me know and we'll debate it out. All right, so Wisconsin, number 11 in the Big Ten, and that's where we have them. Would love to hear from you now, right here on Mark Rogers TV.